Hello. Apologies if you can hear my neighbors. The kids are out to play. Hello, hello, welcome. Hey. Um, Before we start, I just wanted to signpost you guys to a peaceful protest tomorrow in Cardiff. You guys that are in the Cardiff area. Black Lives Matter Cardiff have organised a peaceful protest tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the Stone Circle in Butte Park, and you can follow them on Instagram at BLM_Cardiff. That's 1 p.m. tomorrow, Stone Circle in Butte Park. And in my bio there is a link to the official Black Lives Matter resources page, where there is a link to protests happening in all over the world, so you can find somewhere near you where one is happening. So I would encourage you to do that. And yeah, I've been really excited about this, to speak to Hugh, so let's get him in. Is it gonna work?
Hello.
Hey!
Hi, Dan.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, well done, well done. And I'll see you there tomorrow, hopefully. I plan to go down to that
Awesome, man, yeah.
protest at 1 o'clock in Butte Park, isn't it? Behind the castle.
It is, at the Stone Circle, Butte Park.
Hopefully see you there.
Whoa, sorry, did you just hear that thunder?
I didn't. Where are you, Dan?
I am on the edge of Bridgend.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might hear it in 10 minutes because I'm on the edge of Cardiff. So it's probably...
That was all... Oh my God, that was a loud one. So you're in Cardiff now, then, are you?
Yeah, I'm in Whitchurch. Yeah, I'm in Whitchurch where I live. And I've just got in off my bike. I've just been on the Taff Trail.
Oh, yes, nice.
Down to see the canal. And with my son. And it's Friday. And I've got a non-alcoholic lager on the go. And
good man.
it's the weekend, isn't it? How lucky are we to have a weekend?
Oh, man, tell me about it.
Yeah.
How was was it quiet out when you went out down to the river?
No, it's getting busy. It's getting busier and busier. And what's interesting is in the past week, since Wales has lifted the lockdown on older people, suddenly the age demographic out and about has got older as well. So it used to be like 2-3 weeks ago it was younger people, and now you see over 70s out and about.
Saying that, I saw a lady walk in front of my house yesterday with a Zimmer frame.
Right. Yeah.
Getting her exercise.
Yeah.
It was really nice, actually, to see.
Yeah. It must be, especially if you're older and on your own, it must be very difficult, mustn't it, during this
oh, man.
lockdown period. But we're lucky in where we live, aren't we? I think in South Wales that there's a lot of, well, it's mostly greenery, to be honest. And it's mostly...
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we've got elderly neighbours here, and he was actually quite ill a few weeks ago, and luckily he's much better now. But I mean, even us on the edge of Bridgend, we've got like kind of a bit of a woodland out the back. I saw them walking out there today and said hello and stuff. Yeah, it's nice.
Very nice. Have you do you live on like a residential street, Dan, or do you live in a wooden hut on the side of a mountain?
Well, I would love to live on a wooden hut on the side of the mountain, but as rural and lovely as this all looks, I live on a main road.
Right.
But yeah, been here for like 5 years now. So, but it's a nice spot. It's really close to Cardiff, really close to the beach and things, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which has been nice these past few months, to be honest.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. But what you? How have you been recording your show then? Past few weeks? Have you been recording it from home or Radio Wales studio or?
Well, I've been using I've been using this microphone, that
Uh-huh.
that pop shield, and these headphones, and I've mostly been doing it from home. So I do two shows for. I need to correct you. I don't do a show for Radio Wales. I do a show for Radio Cymru. So there's
Oh
obviously
man, I apologise. I tagged Radio Wales.
no, not at all. There's two stations in Wales, one in English, one in Welsh. I do two shows on the Welsh language station. So I do one every Thursday night on Radio Cymru and one every Friday morning on Radio Cymru 2, which is a breakfast show station. And then I do Sunday nights on Radio 1, which obviously is broadcast in English on Radio 1 in the UK and with listeners around the world on BBC Sound. So yeah, I've been doing the Welsh shows live from here, from home, and I've been doing Radio 1 here, and it's all kind of edited together in London. That's not live, that's pre-recorded, that show.
Yeah, yeah. Has it always been like that? Have you always done shows from home, or you normally in studio, aren't you?
Never. Do you know what? Over the years, you meet so many people who go, why don't you just do the show from home? Because nobody knows or cares. It's just, it's a voice, you might as well do it from home. And that's always been the dream. I know you had Bob Harris on here recently, who does records a bit from home. And obviously John Peel used to record and do a show live from Peel Acres.
Yeah.
And, that it's just like, sounds idyllic, doesn't it? Being able to go and make a cuppa in your kitchen and pop back up to the attic to do the show. But obviously the minute lockdown happened, I said, well, I can't. I was ill to begin with. Right at the beginning of it, I was bedbound for 2 weeks, and I thought,
Really?
So
Do you reckon you had it?
I do, yeah, I think so. I haven't had a test, Dan, so I can't confirm it, but I was in bed. I lost a lot of weight. I couldn't I couldn't walk. I was lethargic. I was tired. I was sleeping all day. And I had the symptoms right at the beginning of COVID-19. So I phoned work and said, look, I can't come in. And they said, well, you shouldn't come in. In fact, straight away, BBC went, who have you spoken to in the last week
really?
when you were in? And they contacted them and told them, to self-isolate as well, So they've been brilliant. And then we started broadcasting from home then. And
because like you were saying, I can see it being a dream broadcast or recording from home. I mean, I love recording from home, completely different kind of thing. But it was interesting because Bob was saying he likes going into the studio because of the kind of seeing people, I guess, and having that kind of buzz of being in broadcasting house or whatever. Do you miss that being at home doing it?
Well, yeah, because sometimes I'll walk down Great Portland Street and see somebody like Bob Harris, or any of the DJs on Radio 1 or 1 Extra or Radio 2 or 6 Music that I know, and that's always lovely, isn't it? Seeing people that you like, who you work with, wherever you work, is important. So I used to, before lockdown, I'd go to London once a week to record my Radio 1 show, up and down in a day normally, and I do miss that, of course. But yeah, I mean, I imagine for yourself as a musician, you're used to recording at home because it's a necessity, isn't it? Why would you pay to go to an expensive studio when you can record at home? Do you use recordings that you've made at home to release then? I mean, or do you have to?
What?
Do you like going into the studio?
Up until the most recent stuff I've done, everything without fail has been done in the studio. I'd written the songs acoustically, sat on them, and then done everything in the studio. But then the past kind of year, I got the PRS Momentum Fund and started working on more stuff at home myself, and having this amazing space, and getting a few more little bits of mics, decided to try and teach myself how to do stuff more. Because it's fun, and it's I find it really fun being as self-sufficient as possible when it comes to making stuff, recording stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, recently, the most recent songs, I used a lot of stuff from that was recorded at this desk or in this room sort of thing. And there's one of the new songs there's a massive oak tree outside here. And I was recording some vocals at dusk, and you can hear all the birds in the background, and it's really nice. Like, it might nobody will ever notice, but to me it feels really nice to know that, oh, that vocal or that guitar take or whatever was done in my little nook at home, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Do you ever have are you talking about neighbour sound effects in the background now, or birds or passing traffic?
Yeah.
Do you ever leave recordings like that in on your songs?
There's the bird songs that were from this most recent recording. Actually, we turned them up because it was so nice. Like, it was really nice.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, actually, on my album there was a siren going past when we recorded that in Roath in Cardiff,
Right.
and we left that in. But
Where in Roath did you record?
on Alfred Street, Charlie Francis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was in Charlie's loft.
Ah, okay, of course. So is that where he lives? Right. Okay.
Yeah. So we did it all in the loft, minus drums and horns. We did that at Music Box.
Okay.
Yeah, but I miss that place, man. I miss Music Box.
I was gonna say I mean, obviously I'm not a musician, but every time I go to Music Box, I get such a thrill because you'll see like some band members walking in and out.
Oh man, it's the best.
The office / tuck shop, and
Yeah,
that little dishevelled sofa on the way in.
that is the comfiest sofa I've ever sat on. I swear to God, it looks like a piece of shit, but it's great.
Yeah,
man, I do miss that place. I miss walking down the hallway and people just popping out and you being like, "Oh, how's it going, man? Oh my God, haven't seen you in ages."
I bet. I saw Mark from Music Box mid jog a couple of weeks ago on the Taft Trail.
Say that again. You out there?
He was I saw Mark from Music Box jogging.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and but we didn't stop because I've learned that you should never interrupt a man when he's jogging.
Oh no.
I've tried it before, and they're never.
You get a rude response.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'm not a jogger, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, fair enough.
Me
Yeah.
Have you been? How many little ones have you got? One.
Oh yeah, one boy, Kai. He's 2.5.
So have you been kind of like homeschooling? Have you been doing that?
Well,
Or like, I guess 2.5 is what
yeah,
I mean.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
Kai doesn't have any. Well, he goes to nursery. He goes to Mary
Mhm.
Mawr in Llandaf North, but we've been painting a lot. We've been going out on the bike a lot. We've been playing with nature, homeschooling. Yeah,
100. Yeah.
100%, yeah. And we've been watching a lot of cartoons, and we've been reading books. So I suppose we have. Yeah, I suppose so. I think it's different. Obviously, if you've got older children, you've got some proper schooling to do, and it must have been tough for so many people to become a teacher as well as do their job during this time as well. You know, if they have been working, you know, but. Yeah, so I mean, it's been such a weird time, isn't it, for everybody? You know,
I think it's a nice opportunity, I think, to rethink the education process a little bit, though, and I think
probably
being able to go out and do things and learn in a different way is probably in some way going to benefit a lot of kids that don't, that aren't they don't learn in a reading a textbook kind of way.
Yeah, I think schools. Two of my sisters are junior school teachers, and one in Cardiff, one in Pontypridd, and I think the formal education system's changed a lot as well. They take children outside to teach a lot more, and there's different techniques and different ways of teaching, even in official schools and standard school education, which as you say is good because as we know, if you want to promote creativity in children, and if you want children to reach creative potentials, then you have to start them young, I suppose, and you have to give children opportunities to do things. But I think, yeah, it must be really tough because teaching is a skill. It's a profession, isn't it? It's not something you can just all of a sudden wake up and think, I'm a teacher and I'm going to I'm going to become the best homeschooler ever, best teacher. It's people. These are experts, and that is something that we definitely have done in it over lockdown and over COVID-19 is appreciate all the NHS, all the doctors, all the care workers, and all the teachers, I think, as well. Because the schools haven't been shut. That's something that the news people always say is, we should have to reopen the schools. The schools have still been open for vulnerable children and for children of care workers. And so the teachers have still been working very hard.
Yeah, man. I mean, my mum's a teacher, and her school has been open, and the head teacher actually, and like the other staff, the higher staff, have been running it, and they've been on like a cycle. People coming in, and they've been on a thing. But have some friends in the local primary school. It's just been open 6 or 7 days a week some weeks because it's just needed to be.
Yeah.
People needed to be in there.
Yeah, of course. Is your mum teacher in Bridgend?
Oh,
hang on. Look, I can see all the names of people joining now. Nerm and Rowan. Hiya, Nerm. How's it going, man? And Rowan.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And I think I saw Hannah Grace as well. Hiya, Hannah.
Hey,
Hope you're doing okay. Are you a friend of Hannah Grace, Dan?
Yes, we actually co-wrote a song, one of the new songs I'm going to release, actually.
Ah, very good.
Yeah, so I don't even know if she knows that. I'm Hannah, I'm releasing it. I'm seeing if there's any questions in here, Hugh, for you. I can see people are writing stuff.
Well,
but if not...
I'll be honest, Dan, it's just nice to have a chat.
I know, man. To speak to somebody.
Well, last time I saw you, do you remember the last time I saw you?
The last time I saw you was... Oh, you've gone all QB and frozen. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, is that better?
I think it's the thunder. I can hear you. I think it's the thunder and lightning. I'll keep going. But the last time I saw you was the Creative Wales event.
That's right. Yes, that's right. In the college on Dumballs Road.
That's it. Yeah, you were presenting an award and doing a bit of a talk.
That's right. And you were playing an acoustic set.
I was playing some tunes on the side.
That's nice. That's mostly where I see you, is when you've got guitar in your hand and you're off to play somewhere, or you're on the way to a gig, or...
I know, man. I think, God, the last time before that was probably London. Remember the venue when Horizons did an event? Trying to think where it was now. I can't remember where it was.
It was a pub in South London, in Peckham, if I remember correctly.
I think it was Peckham, yeah, good memory.
I think so. And I don't know London that well. I don't know South London that well. But yeah, I think they took over a pub and you were playing there. And did you have a lot of gigs on during this time? Has this lockdown affected your live music plans?
Yeah, big time. I'd actually... I was supposed to be on tour now. I would have been in London yesterday, actually. Wednesday.
Where in London?
I cannot remember now. I had a tour organised for April for myself, and then I was going as a tour support for somebody who I was really excited to tour with. It's now been rescheduled. They never announced it in the end. It's been rescheduled till September, but we were meant to be on the road now. Okay. So, yes, it's strange coming past, like flicking through my diary and seeing all of the coming up to the week, and I'd be like, oh, I'd have been in Canada next week or whatever. It's just strange flipping past them, being like, well, it's not happening. But we're all in the same boat. So,
did you have a lot of international gigs? Was Canada part of the plan?
Canada was actually not for music, but like South by Southwest in March.
Mm.
Um,
Were you booked for that with visas and everything?
yeah, done it all. It was all ready to go. Flights booked and all that. But
And tell me, how does that obviously you pay money for the visas and you pay money for the flights.
yeah,
Does the visa roll over? No, to next year. Do you have to try everything again? Do you?
yeah, can't get the flight ticket money back either,
Right.
which is pretty tough.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. And
But
was that put forward
again,
with like momentum funding or anything like that, or?
no, this time it wasn't. This was like, yeah,
Yeah.
self-funded. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that
But
was difficult.
does your gig at South by Southwest can roll over to March of next year, or?
Well, there's no official talk of it, but
Right.
I'm pretty sure that they're gonna reach out to the people that were going already, see if they can still come,
Yeah.
uh, and try and do that again. I mean, it's the nature of music, isn't it? That there'll be, by the time it rolls around next time, there'll be bands that aren't together anymore, or things will have changed. But I think they're gonna ask everybody again, and then those that can't, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, as you say. I mean, it's going to be tough on musicians, isn't it? And some bands and artists won't be making music, and some will
Yeah.
have moved on. And yeah, yeah.
Are there things that you've missed on during this? Are things you had booked or planned or?
Oh well, I like a lot of people was looking forward to going to festivals. I was working out at some festivals, like Reading, and I do the stage at Latitude, and obviously they were cancelled. I was planning to go to South by Southwest with the BBC to cover that and to do some showcases as well. Yeah, and then in the Eisteddfod in Wales in August, and Tavoil in Cardiff Castle. What they've decided to do, Tavoil announced today, is they're going to do the gig. It's the Welsh Language Festival in the Cardiff Castle, and they're going to do it virtually. So there's 10 bands that will still play in the castle on
No
June
way.
20th, and then they're going to stream it all on the app. In fact, I'll use this opportunity, Dan, if that's all right, to
Yeah, go
plug
for it.
the. There's an app called AM, and it is basically a portal to a lot of Welsh creative websites and channels. So there's it's in both languages, Welsh and English. There's a lot of visual, a lot of music, a lot of art, and a lot of written content. And Welsh Music Podcast have got a channel. I think Horizons have one. There's loads and loads of info. So if anybody wants to know what's going on and wants a little snapshot of creative life in Wales, check out that's the name of the app.
Oh, AM app.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, oh, man. Got you. Sorry, I lost you again then. This damn weather. My God.
Are you still there? Oh,
I got you.
that is the Welsh weather, that is.
Got you. You got me now?
That's the Welsh thunder and lightning.
This is
Yeah,
the
I can
Welsh
hear
weather.
you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you perfectly.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I
Okay.
watched your chat with Kai Morgs the other day.
Oh yeah, Kai Morgan. Yeah.
What was with your camera?
I think I still had some blue tack on the camera from ages ago, and I hadn't switched it on until that interview. So it looks like I'm in a sauna.
It looks like you've been hotboxing the room.
It looks like what?
Looks like you've been hotboxing the room before you went on.
Yeah, it was a bit weird that. Yeah, apologies to Kai. But yeah, that's another brilliant podcast we should plug, the Creative Crossroads
Yeah.
podcast. You've probably done that already on your channel, but
No, no, he is. I believe his handle is at Kai Morgs, isn't it? So CAIMORGS. He's been doing loads, hasn't he?
Yeah. I'm just going to go and get my laptop because I need to charge my phone. Give me 1 sec.
Go for it. Go for it. Let's have a scroll through here. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hey, Hannah. Oh, I'm trying to scroll. It's not playing ball. Keep an eye on that clock. How's everybody doing? Oh man, it's loads of you. Hey.
Hey, man.
Oh man, playing. I'm on my third coffee today, Q. I'm a bit jittery.
Yeah. What coffee do you drink, Dan?
Whatever the shop has at the moment, actually.
It's what?
Whatever the shop has in stock at the
Oh,
moment.
whatever the shop has. Yeah. No, absolutely, yeah. The reason I ask is because I got some hard lines in the other day. Have you ever
Oh,
drunk hard
nice.
lines coffee?
I have.
Yeah. They've got a little shop in Cardiff Market and also one on Cowbridge Road.
Yeah, have
And
you been to the Cowbridge Road one?
yeah, I did. Yeah, and I went there to collect this coffee, and it's lovely. It's summery, and I'm not a coffee. I'm not a massive coffee head or massive coffee snob or whatever. But oh my god, it's beautiful, this coffee. And yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
slightly
find
addicted to
Hardlines
it.
coffee
I'm a
gives me a
3 cup
real.
a day man as well.
You are?
I'm a 3 cup a day man as well.
Oh, it's not good, is it? By the time you get to the third one, you're
Yeah.
struggling with your charger.
Yeah, always struggling with my charger. Yeah, that's better.
Do
I'm
you
gonna have
reckon,
to be on the
do you reckon we
side. I'm
can, do
afraid.
you reckon we can do
Oh, that's
this?
it. Oh, there you are. Yeah, is that gonna mess everybody
Everyone
up
will have
though?
to watch it sideways now. They'll tune in and be thinking, what the hell is going on? Oh, what am I doing? We're having an absolute technical nightmare here. Sorry.
We are. We are.
I did also. Oh, somebody. Which blend of coffee did you get, Hugh? Someone's asking.
Oh, um, I don't remember. I'd have to go on their Instagram to have a look. So the reason I'm doing this is because my phone's not charging now. Hang on. Hang on. Is that better? I think this might be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what blend it was. I'll have to go online and have a look. But
The one they were doing recently, was it?
yeah, it was the first one that I saw on their website, and I think it might be Colombian or something. I'm not entirely sure, but oof, it was lovely. So you're still
I saw
buzzing off
that.
that?
And they've been giving some of the proceeds to charity too, haven't they?
I think they have. Yeah, I think so. This week. Yeah. They've started doing that. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I asked people before we tuned in if they had any questions they'd like to ask you. So,
Oh yeah.
how do you feel about answering some questions?
Oh, of course, always. Yeah, as long as they're not
Yeah.
incredibly difficult.
They're hugely existential, really difficult questions.
Okay. Oh, I'm on the Hardlines website. It was Colombia El Carmen was the brew of coffee.
There we go.
More. Yeah. That's what. Yeah, man.
Answered.
Of course. Yeah. Ready for the questions, Dan.
All right, I got my clipboard. I'm prepared. I've done this before.
Okay.
I got to be honest. I was nervous, Hugh, because you're a pro at this, and asking questions to a broadcasting pro is, you know what I mean?
Well, how was Bob Harris taking your questions? Did he enjoy answering your questions?
He did, yeah. It was, yeah. He's very relaxed about. He's a relaxed guy, anyway, isn't he?
He is such a lovely man, isn't he, Bob Harris?
Yeah.
I mean, like in terms of radio greats, he's there, isn't he? And he's always been so lovely and friendly. I mean, he's just got this lovely personality, isn't he? He's just
He does. He's like a
spoken, sensible guy.
Yeah. Like I don't want to bring his age into it, but he feels like everybody's granddad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But in the sense that he's got that really comforting aura around him.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I
Have you seen
mean?
the film Wild Rose, Dan?
I have. I went to see it with my girlfriend. Yeah, it was wicked.
Yeah, because he's in it, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he's got a cameo in it, isn't he? And he sits down.
Yeah.
If they sat down at sat down having a coffee, or they just I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think she goes to meet him in the studio. We won't spoil the film for anyone, but here's another recommendation. Uh, Wild Rose.
Well,
It's a brilliant film, isn't it? And you must have loved
mhm.
that because musically it must have been up your street and everything.
It was wicked, man. I was apprehensive going into it
Yeah.
because there are a lot of there are a lot of music films that are a bit sort of, you know. But it was I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I did. It was nice that she had her story of her like coming up and where she'd come from and
Yeah.
never losing where she came from and all this sort of thing, which is really cool.
Yeah, yeah,
And she
yeah.
was great as well. She played that role so well.
She is great. Now, what's her name? Do you remember? Jess? Jessie? No, Wild Rose. Jessie. I've forgotten her name, but she's brilliant.
The character or the actress?
The actress.
I'll tell you right now. Jessie Buckley.
Jessie Buckley. That's it. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah,
And
here we
the
go.
album, the soundtrack to the film, I think is fantastic as well, isn't it?
It was so. When was that? It must have been a good couple of years ago now.
I think so. Yeah, probably 2 years, I'd say.
Natalie's chat. Thank you, Natalie. Jessie Buckley said so.
Hi, Natalie McCool.
Do you know Natalie?
A little bit, yeah. I met Natalie McCool in Festival Number 6 in North Wales.
No way.
About 5 years ago or something. But yeah, I've played Natalie's tunes on the radio as well. Yeah. She's great.
Natalie's a legend. She also has a podcast that is really good.
Ah, very good.
Yeah, called McCool and the Gang, and it's on on Spotify and all that. And
Okay.
it's well worth a listen, man. A really interesting one last week with a lady called Tanya, who I met when I met Natalie in Nashville. We went for a songwriting camp.
Okay.
And Tanya's worked on films like Star Wars and Game of Thrones and stuff as sets, but she's also done some of the music for Killing Eve.
Ooh.
And they spoke about that and how they got into that. And oh yeah, it's wicked. Natalie's such a laugh. She's awesome.
Yeah. Amazing. I will check out McCool and the Gang. What a great name for a podcast.
Yeah, isn't it? So good, man.
His real name, McCool?
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm
Cool.
99.9% sure. Natalie, if you confirm that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Which is really cool.
Yeah, very cool.
All right. There's a few questions here.
Okay, yeah, hit me.
The first one we kind of covered, actually. Somebody said, how has working in broadcasting for you changed over the past few months?
Yeah, as you say, we covered that in that. I haven't been. I did a week in BBC Cardiff when I covered on Six Music. I did covered Chris Hawkins on the Early Breakfast Show for a week, which was fun.
Uh-huh.
And but other than that, I've been home. And that's the power of radio, really, is that you when you listen to somebody, you don't know where they are. You just listen to the voice, and they could be in a studio in London or Cardiff or wherever, or they could be in bed
in their bathroom.
In their bathroom, yeah. And I think it's been a challenge technically for a lot of radio stations, but I think everybody's risen to it and loved it.
I think there's loads of people and loads of professions that after this will be rethinking where they work and how they work. And like loads of people being able to maybe work 2 or 3 days from home, not having to do the commute, and
that's as you say, that's a game changer, isn't it? And we don't need to travel, and people, you don't need all those. I mean, it's worrying as well, isn't it? With especially in somewhere like Cardiff and any other city which has had so much building work going on and office space, and and historic buildings go in so that and new offices come in. So it's going to be different for a lot of people moving forward. You're right.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the more we can work from home and maybe not need as many offices, the more we can keep these historical places, or introduce places that are more for the community rather than just some business coming in to put some desks in, you know?
Yeah, because yeah, you're right. Even if we do work at home, that community is important, isn't it? And
Yeah.
going to a cafe or a pub or a space where you can see other people that you sort of get on with is good for the soul.
Yeah, like music box and studios and going in, bouncing off people, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, okay, so we've got a slightly easier one, or I don't know, slightly more lighthearted one. Do you have, somebody said, a best lockdown purchase?
Ooh, apart from Hardlines coffee, which I've been living off, best best lockdown purchase. Yeah, I bought a book. I bought Richard Russell, who runs XL Records, his autobiography. I think
Oh,
it's called The
cool.
Liberation Through Hearing. And I
Well,
read that really early on in lockdown. And also, it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago. My wife got me Mark Lanigan's autobiography. And I'm enjoying that. And on the first page in Mark Lanigan's autobiography, he says, I was born in, no, my mum, I'm from Welsh stock, basically, he says. My grandparents were Welsh. So I'm like, oh my God, first page, best book ever. So I'm enjoying that. Yeah, so books mostly, but nothing extravagant. But actually, the best lockdown purchase, Dan, has been the microphone that I showed you a minute ago. Because
oh,
that's
did you buy that just for lockdown
yeah,
recording?
I bought that just before I went into isolation, and yeah, best thing I bought, game changer for me.
Is it a USB one?
It's a USB Blue Yeti, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I got a USB. It's so handy, man.
Yeah, it's just really easy to use, isn't it?
So handy. I've written those books down. Thank you. I've just started reading Scar Tissue again, the Anthony Kiedis book.
Oh, I haven't read that.
Oh man, I bought it in 2011 when I was in South Africa, because on the inside cover it says 2011 South Africa, and I was obviously too young at the time to understand any of the chaos that happens in that book.
Yeah.
So I'd read the first chapter and obviously just put it down, and I started reading it a few weeks ago, and I'm just flying through it. It's unbelievable. I can't recommend it enough. Just the story, like you wonder how the guy's alive.
Yeah. Okay.
It's insane.
Yeah, I've read the Keith Richards one, and I've read Nile Rodgers from Chic's autobiography. And
yeah, I've recommended that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's great. And listen, because as you say, how are they still alive? And thank God that they still are.
Yeah, my God. Yeah, it's incredible, man. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
We've had one from Lover Music. That's Dan. Do you know Dan?
Dan. Who's Dan? You're
Dan.
Dan.
Me. Do you know me?
You're Dan.
He's asking. Yeah, LVR is his artist name. He's asking though. Good time to release. Oh, sorry, I lost you there. Good time to release music during lockdown, and if so, how not to get lost in all the content? That's a good question.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
It's a very good question. Music has been released, isn't it, during lockdown? And
loads, yeah.
Yeah, I think without gigs and without the usual, without the live music side of promotion, I think it's been challenging for a lot of artists. But I think radio has been vital in terms of letting people know what's out there. More people have been listening to the radio, I think, than in a long time because of lockdown, myself included. So thankfully there's shows out there that can, if they're supportive of your music, can promote you. But I think it's up to every individual musician. If it feels right to release it, then you should, because the lockdown's not going to just finish completely. I don't think we're going to get back to normal and everything will be back up and running. People will still be living this weird life for a little while, I think, but people will still want music, won't they? And there'll still be
Yeah, totally. And I think a lot more people are looking out for new music too, because they're sat at home, you know, a lot less to do. I've been trolling the internet for new music a lot more than I normally would.
Yeah, have you? Yeah, yeah, and you know, that's a great thing. So maybe there is no better time than during this lockdown to release music. But
Yeah.
I think I hope people get, don't get too disillusioned and too sad that things aren't as they were pre-coronavirus. I
Mm-hmm.
hope people keep the faith, because gigs will come back, and there will be a bit of normality at some point in the future. We just don't know when.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've been thinking about it a lot and imagining those first gigs or those first times on stage or the first time we're all in a room together and somebody plays that guitar or hits that hit, and it's just going to be, man, it's going to be really sweet to be back in that environment around people that are all there to focus on the one thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going
It's
to
going
be
to be,
emotional. It's going to be emotional, and it's going to be strange, and it's going to be lovely. Yeah, totally.
it's going to, yeah.
What was your last gig before lockdown, Dan?
My last gig was January, February, March. I think it was the 4th of March. It was in London, actually. It was in the Ned.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was actually really ill, same as you, that first couple of weeks.
Oh, were you? Yeah.
Yeah, and I came back from that gig, and the next day I was just 2 weeks just flat out, like you said, climb up the stairs, and I just collapsed in bed and was just knackered, couldn't smell, couldn't taste, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while, man, so I'm really, really itching to do that again.
Of course, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be good. I like this question. If you could only gift one record to friends and family for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One record. I'd probably have to say the best of the Beatles.
Really? You go for a compilation?
Probably the Blue Album. Yeah, I don't know. One album.
That's a tough one.
It's a very tough one. There's one album that I always used to, I don't anymore because I don't travel, well, not in the last 3 months, but there's one album I always used to listen to on public transport, and it was by an Icelandic 4-piece called Amina, and it was an album called Sog, and it's the most beautiful instrumental music. And well, you've travelled a lot when you're going from place to place. Sometimes you just need an album that you can sleep to or zone out to or relax to. And it just makes you feel, it's that warm hug of an album. For me, it was that Amina album. It's A-M.
What's it called?
They're called Amina, A-M-I-I-N-A. And the album's called Sog, S-O-G-G. And I think they collaborated with Sigur Rós back in the day. But yeah, I think they're 4 musicians from Iceland. So I'd say that album.
No way. That's interesting. Just because it's like calming and nice and
yeah, and just because I think it's so beautiful, and yeah.
My travelling records are War on Drugs.
Ah, very nice. Yeah, I haven't heard that.
I find that if you're on a train or a plane, like most of their songs have that ding 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 ding, and it just like after a couple of seconds you slip into the rhythm of that drums and you just
yeah, that rhythmic record. Yeah,
I love that stuff, man. It's so good.
Very nice. Yeah,
I'm gonna check them out. That's cool.
And I'm gonna listen to War on Drugs tonight. That's what I'll do.
Say that again.
And I listen to War on Drugs tonight.
I thought you said I'm going to go do hard drugs tonight.
No. I will. No. Just to clarify, I will listen to War on Drugs and nothing else.
Perfect. That's just what I wanted to hear.
Hey, it's raining now. Is it raining in Bridgend? It's raining in Cardiff.
It's absolutely pouring down.
Yeah. Nice for the gardens, Dan. Nice for the gardens.
Squirrels, man. We've got like 5, 6 squirrels. We've got rabbits that live under my cabin, and they've had 2 litters of 10 rabbits.
Wow, that's a lot of rabbits.
It's been pretty hefty. It's mad.
Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye on the clock. We don't have much longer, but we probably have time for one more question if you'd be up for that.
Of course, and also my phone battery is about to go, and it's not charging off the laptop for some reason.
Oh, well, in case you cut off.
It's 2020, Dan, and I can't charge my phone properly. What's going on?
Man, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest. But if you do cut off, thank you so much for taking the hour to come and talk to me, man.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for catching up. And who are you talking to next?
Do you know what? I have not the foggiest. I need to figure that out. But I really appreciate you taking the time, man. It's been lovely chatting.
No, it's a pleasure. I tell you what else I wanted to ask you about. Have you heard Courtney Marie Andrews?
Yes. Oh, man, yeah.
She's amazing, isn't she? She's got a new song out called something Fault. But yeah, it's brilliant. She's so good.
She was meant to go on tour at the start of lockdown with Tallest Man on Earth.
Ah, okay.
And they got when the lockdown came on, she and him they were in a recording studio about to leave, and they got locked down in a recording studio, and they recorded a bunch of stuff, and they were posting pictures, and looked amazing.
Right.
But I sold It Must Be Someone Else's Fault. Is that
That's it? Yeah. It's really good. Yeah.
I'll check that out. Oh, she's amazing, man. Her voice, her lyrics, her songwriting are just outrageous.
Yeah, she's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, man. She been to Cardiff? Did she play in?
She played Green Man Festival a couple of years ago, and that was very good. Yeah, that was good. Oh, my other question is, what are you having for dinner?
Oh, man. I think earlier on I took some beef out of the freezer. So whatever goes with that, whatever I've got from the shop.
Very nice. What
it's always
beef steaks?
No, like diced.
Diced.
Yeah, so maybe a stew. It's that kind of weather, isn't it?
Yeah, a nice
traditional
cow.
Oh man, I had the best cow ever just before lockdown in Llandudno, I think it was, in this tiny little cafe, and it was the best bowl of cow I ever had, and it had a door wedge block of cheese and a massive heel of bread. And I wasn't feeling very well that day. I thought, like, you know when you feel like you got a bit of a cold? And as first spoon of that cow, I felt like Superman.
Oh, it doesn't get any better, does it? Lovely. Doesn't
get any better than that. It doesn't. Right, let's try and cram this in before we go. It's
okay.
It says, it's quite a hefty one to finish on. What challenges or opportunities have you found during lockdown?
Well, opportunities. I have spent more time with my son, which has been obviously lovely. Challenges, juggling, work with looking after our boy, because my wife's been working from home. That's been a challenge, like it has been for everybody. And I think at the beginning, just mentally trying to take it all in. And trying to take it all in for 3 months, and it's still not really making sense with everything that's happening in the world, with politics in the UK and in America, with all the coronavirus issues, with that sense of apprehension about what's going to happen in the future as well. Thinking, counting our blessings, feeling very lucky because I haven't been affected by coronavirus. People have, it's about 40,000 have died in the UK, and it is insane. And so obviously it's been such a tough time for so many people. So I feel very lucky, and also, just keeping yourself company is weird, isn't it? Because there's so many distractions in life, and suddenly having less and going looking for them on your phone or whatever is a weird one. So it's just
I found it helpful. I've been having almost daily chats with a mate of mine on FaceTime, and even just that brings you out of your own little bubble, and to hear what's going on in he lives in Wimbledon, so it's just, you know, hearing what's going on his street as opposed to your own just makes you, you know, get out your own head a little bit. And to be honest, these chats, man, have been like, the whole idea behind them was and is to, you know, if people are feeling lonely at home, I want people to be able to talk with us and chime in and just not feel alone, you know. But they've been having the exact same effect for me. You know, these things have been helping me out so much too. Just having that interaction with somebody else is so big. It goes back to the whole community thing, doesn't it?
It does. It's a lovely thing. It's a lovely thing, isn't it? We wouldn't have been doing this if it wasn't for all of this, Dan. So it's been thanks for having me on your Friday night.
Man, it's been a pleasure.
Your diced steak.
Thank you. Have you finished your non-alcoholic beer?
I have, you know. It's gone.
You have. Oh, well, cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Lovely to chat to you. And I'll see you in the flesh at a gig in the future, I hope, Dan.
Yes, and I might see you tomorrow.
And I might see you tomorrow, yes. 1 o'clock behind Cardiff Castle, I believe.
Yes, in Butte Park.
In Butte Park, yeah. All right, then.
Cool.
Take care, Dan.
All right, man. Take care of yourself.
See you later.
Thank you. Oh, man, what a legend. Thank you guys for tuning in and chatting and asking questions. That was lovely. Just a reminder, at the start of the video, I was just signposting people who live in the Cardiff area that tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the Stone Circle in Butte Park, there is a protest organised by Black Lives Matter Cardiff. You can follow them on Instagram at BLM_Cardiff. That's at 1 p.m. at the Stone Circle in Butte Park. And in my bio on my Instagram here, I have a link to the official Black Lives Matter website resources page, where there are tons of related resources, but also links to protests in your area. There's a map of all of the ones happening in the world. So I would encourage you to go and check that out and find one near you. So I hope everybody's doing okay and is safe and well. And thank you again for tuning in. And I will see you very, very soon.